Now, here's a figure to muse on, 250 million. That's how many records Cliff Richard has sold in his career. It's become fashionable to dismiss him as the squeaky clean Christian favoured by the Queen. But do so at your peril, because there is another side, a rich history and surprising twist to this evergreen bachelor boy. Ross Coulthard joined him at his Portuguese villa.
So, Cliff, you've been dubbed the Peter Pan of pop.
Oh, okay.
You're coming into your 72nd year.
Thank you.
This year, and might I say, you're looking ridiculously youthful.
Well, thank you. I think it's a lot of luck, involved in that. But I now consider myself more like the Rip Van Winkle of rock, rather than the Peter Pan. Peter Pan is really hard to live up to, because nobody can still look 18, not at my age anyway.
You tell me that you love me, baby, then you say you don't. You tell me that
You took off in a way that I think is very rare even these days. The extent to which you were selling records is extraordinary.
I'll give it to you straight right now.
You were selling 80,000 records a day.
I know people ask me would I like to have been born now and compete now, and I would say no, please. We have been through the heyday of rock and roll. It was when it was a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's not that anymore.
We say yeah.
When we, the Shadows and I, were selling our millions, we were selling them with Tom Jones, with the Beatles, with Elvis, with Little Richard, Buddy Holly. There were hundreds of us.
Hey, kids! It doesn't matter what you are, punks!
Is it true that when you and your mum were in a small room together as a family, she'd wear your shoes at night when she went and worked night shift, and you'd wear the same pair of shoes to school because you couldn't
boots.
afford
They
them?
were like boots. And yeah, because we came from India where we were quite well off. But my father sold everything to get us on a boat. Home Rule had come in 1947, and after a year he felt, okay, there were dangerous areas in India, and we were perhaps living near them. We were living near Calcutta. We could hear shooting down the road most nights. Quite wisely, he said, let's get out of here. Now, I have to tell you this now. My father wanted to go to Australia.
Why
and I've
didn't you
often
go?
thought, oh, why didn't we go to Australia? But my mother said that if you want to go to Australia, you can. But I'm going with the children back to Blighty. But my dad, quite rightly, said, no, I'm coming with you.
When I was young, my father said, son, I have something to say. And what he told me, I'll never forget until my dying day.
What were your dreams?
Well, the dream was there from the time I was at school, that when I first heard Elvis, it was life-changing. My friends and I were strolling through the town that was very near to where I went to school, and this guy pulled up in a very fantastic-looking car. I discovered now it was an old Citroen. In fact, the Citroen car had like a bubble shape. It looked like something that came out of space. And the windows were down, and we're going, look at this car. I'm going to have one of these one day, you know. And on the radio, which was on, we heard, since my baby left me, I found a new place to... And before we could figure out what to do, the guy got in the car and left.
Heartbreak will I'll be so lonely, baby. Well, I'm so lonely. I'll be so lonely I could die.
Had there been no Elvis, there would be no Cliff Richard. I don't even think there'd have been the Beatles. There'd have been somebody else, but perhaps not us.
I love the descriptions in the early days, though. You were accused of a form of indecent, short-sighted vulgarity. Hang your head in shame, certainly.
I love it, though. I love it.
Chris, we're delighted to have you. Let's welcome him this evening and because.
One of the things that defines Sir Cliff Richard is you are clean living, God-fearing, squeaky clean.
I don't like squeaky clean.
Do you think it damaged your career?
Well, I guess people don't like you to be too radical. And when I think about it, really, when I think about what's happened to rock and roll since our first days, it ends up, they left me really the most radical one. I'm the only one that didn't drug myself to death. I did not go and damage hotel rooms. I didn't pour marmalade and honey over the front seat of the jumbo jet first-class cabin. And in a way, to me, that makes me, I'm the radical one. I have dared not to do what others have done. And I think, in a way, I accept it now as a compliment. Yeah, I'm never going to make ugly music. I'm never going to be controversial, except I can make a record like Millennium Prayer. It has a controversy all its own, and all it was a prayer that the future millennium might be good and kind to us, that if there is a God, that he would feed us, clothe us, help us be forgiving. Excuse me, if that's vanilla, I love it.
So what drew you to Portugal?
Well, I mean, I like the fact that when I first came here in 1961, it felt like a third world country with mod cons.
Yeah. One of the things you have spoken out about, Sir Cliff, is your support for gay marriage. Why did you feel the need to say that?
I didn't make a big political statement. I think sometimes we become too judgmental, and certainly when I first became a Christian, I found myself thinking, these people are real bad sinners, they're no good, they're not going to make it, and you become judgmental. Now, I look at people now, and, you know, who doesn't have gay friends? I know gay couples, one couple, two men who have been together for 50 years. I mean, that's longer than some marriages, some of my friends' marriages didn't last more than 10. And there was a commitment. So what I've done is I gauge everything by how my mum and dad did it. Are these people like my mum and dad? Okay, they're both men, but the strength of relationship is the same. So why not? Why shouldn't they be accepted as a couple?
And of course, because you spoke out publicly in support of gay marriage, again, the issue of your sexuality was raised. It's like it's something that just won't go away for you.
I don't suppose it ever will, but who cares? I love it. I was called an enigma once, and I looked up the word, and I love it. I'm an enigma, apparently. Don't come crying to me when you're the lonely one. I've given up trying to prove anything to anybody anymore. I would just be prolonging this sick interest in other people's sexuality. It's none of our business what somebody else does. And nobody has the right to have me qualify or justify what I do or say in my life. This is what I am, this is what I've been in front of everybody for 54 years. And I find it slightly impertinent when people, like journalists, will come and they'll start talking about that sort of thing. I'm saying, you know, I'm 72 years old, and I don't give a crap what you think about me.
And when Cliff recovers, he'll be in Australia for a national tour in February. Tickets are on sale from Friday. The details are on our website.